Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rajiv Kamal Kumar from AN Sinha Institute of Social Studies, Patna. Today we will discuss the module on classification of tribes based on economy, occupation, religion from the paper Travel Culture of India. So student, let us see what we are going to learn from this module. The first objective of this module would be to define an exclusive account of travel economy in India, to understand the economic life of travels. 3. The to classify the travel economy, occupation and religion. Next, to understand the significance of the travel administration in travel economic development. And last objective of this module would be to know about the concept of travel religion and form of religion among travels. As we know, India is one of the few nations which has the largest number of tribal population. The tribals are an integral part of the Indian population and are organically interlinked with the society which has evolved over a period of time. Tribals in India reflect the wider kaleidoscopic nature of Indian society, which on the one hand is rooted in ancient traditions, whereas on the other hand the forces of modernization are working in tandem on the tribal societies. The tribal culture of India is molding itself slowly but steadily to find its niche in the national mainstream culture of the India. India is home to one of the largest number of tribes in the world. The tribal have characteristics of their own. They differ from the common Indian population both in character and composition. On an all India basis, Indian non-tribal population vary widely from place to place according to the natural surroundings, economy, tradition, and local history. But on the other hand, the tribal population of India have more or less similar natural environments of hill and forest, poor economy, and a specific tradition which are ideal for the travel to come up. The state of Maharashtra and Orissa share the largest number of tribes in India. There is high variation in the spatial distribution of tribes in India. Almost 82% of the tribes live in western and central states, whereas only 11% of them are located in the southern states of the country. Regarding the growth rate of tribal population, it is obvious that the number of tribes has been growing over the years, although the rate of growth of tribal population has been less than that of the general population. The major tribes in India are the Gonds, the Bhils, the Santals, the Orons, and the Meenas. They live in different regions in the forest as well as in rural and urban areas and mostly speak their own dialect. The states of Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Jharkhand, erstwhile Bihar, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, and northeastern states have a larger concentration of tribal population. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are also inhabited by several tribes such as the Great Andamanese, Sentinelese, Ongese, Jarvas, Shawmpans, and so on. The sources of subsistence and livelihood are varied so far the Indian tribals are concerned, starting from the pure and simple parasitic habit of the nomadic hunters and food gatherers who depend mostly upon the nature for the sources of subsistence to the settled agriculturists and the group of industrial laborers. They earn their living by foraging as well as animal husbandry, by agriculture as well as government services from the lowest job of peon to the highest level of administrative services and even ministers in the state and central government. The economic basis of tribals are closely linked with their specific environment. In many cases, the tribes have highly advanced hunting and fishing economies and they are more adjusted to their physical environment than the other developed economies. The evolution of economy from non-feudal to feudal and then to the commercial conditions can take place during any stage of tribal evolution. Little value on surplus accumulation on the use of capital and on market trading largely or entirely independent of the national economy system. The source of subsistence and livelihood are varied so far the Indian tribals are concerned, starting from the pure and simple parasitic habit of the nomadic hunters and food gatherers who depend mostly upon their immediate nature. The main features of tribal economy, as we know, the tribals are close-knit society and the tribals earn their living by foraging as well as animal husbandry, by agriculture as well as government services from peon to high level of administrative officers and ministers. The tribal economy is characterized by very simple technology and basically producing only enough to maintain them at subsistence level or even lower. Usually they show what Majumdar called marginal economy, a group of people practicing different types of occupation at one time of for livelihood, for example, collecting roots, fruits and honey along with hunting. So the tribals economy is generally marked by simple economy and is characterized by the reciprocal relationship. They have a common weekly market which also provides the platform for meeting of the fellow community members, and the tribal economy is basically subsistence in nature. They don't have the concept of surplus economy. Usually, a tribe has neither internal social differentiation nor any specialization of functions. So, the tribal economy is very simple in nature. In general, the economic life of the tribals is marked by the following important characteristics, such as the economy of the tribal is very simple and based mainly on the reciprocal exchange among the community members. They have a very small economy. The production and transactions of goods and services takes place within the small communities in a limited geographical area. They don't have the concept of surplus. The manufacture of consumer goods necessary for bare subsistence each usually takes place in tribal societies. An economic surplus is rarely found in the tribal societies. The tribal economy has division of labor, age and sex from the basic age and sex forms the basic criterion for division of labor instead of professional training and specialization or caste or gender. The tribal markets provides the platform to exchange the goods or limited sale of surplus goods takes place in periodical tribal markets such as weekly hats, and these tribal markets also serve as socio-cultural networks in maintaining inter-village ties. The tribal economy has another characteristics of having simple technology. The tools used for the production of goods are either made by the user himself or by the local artisans living in the neighborhood or belonging to the same tribal community. The tribal economy is also characterized by slower innovation. The rate of internal or induced innovation is very slow, making the economic structure stable but unprogressive. The travel economy has importance of family and kinship. The family in travel societies is considered as a unit of both production and consumption. So there is no separate unit of production as the same family unit produces as well as consume. So for their family consumption, they have to produce the goods. The kinship acts as a cooperative unit. In numerically smaller groups, the whole community acts as a cooperative unit. Economic classification of the tribes. A survey of tribes in India shows a wide range of economic activities which are arranged in order of increasing complexity that also portrays different stages in the evolution of mankind. Professor L.P. Vidyarthi has divided the tribes of India into eight cultural tribes on the basis of their economy. The first is forest hunting type. These type of tribes are mainly depending on hunting of wild animals, collecting minor forest produce from the forest. These semi-nomadic tribes are found all over India except western parts of the country. Some of the tribes belong to this cultural type are Rajis of UP, Birhor and Hilkariya of Jharkhand, Joang of Odisha, Hill Maria Gonds of MP, Chenchu and Yanadi of Andhra Pradesh, and Kurumba of Kerala. They usually live far away from the rural urban area. The next category is shifting hill cultivators type. They practice shifting or slash and burn cultivation on the hill slopes or terraces. This practice is also known as Jhum in northeast, Korwa in Bihar, Kodu or Dahi in Odisha, and Kondapadi in Andhra Pradesh. A hilly forested tract is selected for this purpose may have to abandon after three or more successive cultivating seasons as this soil likely to lose its fertility. The plants, shrubs and undergrowth are cut down and left during for a month or so. Then they set fire to them. The ashes serve as auto manure to the soil. A section of the Gond, Juang, Khasi, Garo, Naga, Khadiya, Riang, Shabra practice this type of primitive cultivation. The third category of tribals based on economy is plain agriculture type or permanent settled cultivators. Agriculture in its simpler form, ploughing with the help of two animal buffaloes or oxen, is practiced by majority of tribals in India. Domestication of animal, particularly cow, buffalo, pigs and fowl generally accompanies the agriculture activities. The major tribes involved in plain agriculture are Khasis, Jayantiyas, Tharuj, Munda, Oraon and Santhals. The next category is simple artisan type. Certain tribes specialize in specific crafts and cottage industries like basketry, tool making, carpentry, ironsmithing, spinning, and weaving. The next category is pastoral type of travel group. In this category, the classic example of pastoral travel communities are Todas of Nilgiri, hills of Tamil Nadu. They are mainly dependent on cattle herding and dairy products. products. The next category of tribe is folk artist type, which involves a lot of manual labor. Some tribals specialize in aerobatics, singing, dancing, snake charming, conjuring, and warding. They are nomads wandering from villages to villages and city to city all over India and earn their livelihood by arranging shows in open air, usually in political markets in the rural areas. They are popularly known as Nut, Sapera, Madari, etc. And these belong to different tribes. The second last category in this group is manual labor type. The labor type can be divided into two: agricultural labor and non-agricultural labor. The last category is white collar job and traders type, and very few group of tribals are practicing this type of economy because of their educational backwardness and unawareness about the development. There are different causes of tribal poverty. It is an accepted fact that most of the tribals are living in abject poverty. There are many factors which are responsible for the poverty of tribals, such as anti-poverty and development programs are not reaching to the tribals, the problem of disguised labor in agriculture, lack of employment avenues in the tribal economy. The tribals are usually living in isolated and semi-isolated regions, and usually they don't prefer to go outside from their natural abode in search of the job opportunities, and hence their situation remains the same. Other causes of poverty are poor agricultural facilities, including irrigation, seeds, traditional method of farming techniques, poor quality of livestock, lack of financial support. As we know that the tribals have most of the tribals have very few acres of land. They don't possess the land. The land are owned by the communities, and the land is basically uh, used for the community members, and the whatever produce is available, they are shared with the community members. So uh, and beside that, they don't have any exclusive agricultural facilities like irrigation and fertilizers. Even the seeds are of low quality. uh, the tribals are also subsisting their farming with other livestock, other associated occupation, such as poultry farming, horticulture, and rearing of pigs and cows, etc. The social factors which are responsible for their poverty is the strong habitual habit of drinking liquor, use of drugs, heavy expenses on the social customs and rituals, etc. Most of the tribals believe in the large ceremonial functions, and for that, like marriage and death ceremonies, for that they borrow heavily from the adjoining caste communities or from the outsiders, and they fall in the trap of poverty. Tribal economic policies. The union and state governments have made several efforts to raise the level of living of tribals at par with other citizens, and have taken special care to protect and preserve the tribal culture. In tribal areas where the tribal economy revolves around forests and forest-based produce, the forestry-based programs have to be devised as to be in consonance with the socio-economic fabric of the tribal culture and ethos. Economic development of tribal population without cultural oppression or giving offense to their heritage or ethos will remain a challenging task for the government. In some of the areas where the tribal communities dependent entirely upon the basketry work are not able to access to the forest. They don't get the bamboo for making the basketry produces. They also fear to go to the forest due to Naxal activities in the isolated forest tracts. Under the promotive and economic welfare policy of the tribal development, the central and state government have started many development programs which were introduced among the tribals, such as Modified Area Development Approach (MADA), Tribal Development Blocks, Integrated Tribal Development Programs, Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Programs, Large Scale Agricultural Multipurpose Societies, which are also known as LAMPs, Community Development Programs, Small Farmers Development Agencies, and there are a lot of programs over the years after the independence. Some of these programs are continued, and some of these programs were stopped. Uh, and After rethinking, these programs were evaluated, and some new programs were initiated. These are the additional development programs, especially meant for the tribals. In addition to these development programs, there are other development programs and schemes which are meant for the development of all the communities, including the backward groups of the society, tribals, and scheduled caste. So we have a lot of development programs and schemes, but there are uh, programs and schemes which are especially meant for the uh, Indian tribal. The tribal religion is mainly rudimentary type, and all the tribal people have common culture and religion. The dependence on the natural forces and lack of proper reasoning and scientific outlook give rise to the beliefs in various superstitious things and supernatural powers. The dependence on the forces of nature like rains, natural calamities, and displeasure of gods points the basic nature of religious beliefs prevalent in tribal society. Belief in the existence of superhuman or supernatural power is almost universal in the tribal society. Experiences of certain day-to-day sudden happenings of disease, death, and unexplainable have led the tribal people into believing in the invisible spirit of the supernatural. They have established a kind of close relationship between themselves and this kind of power. Classification of Indian tribals based on religion. The tribal religion is the most primitive form of religion found in human society. The following are the important classifications of the Indian tribal religion. First one is Mana. Defining faith in Mana found in tribal society, Cordington has pointed out that mana is a force altogether distinct from physical power which acts in all kinds of ways for good and evil, which is of the greatest advantage to possess or control. Thus, mana is supernatural power which is useful to man in the control of many natural phenomena beyond, beyond his power. According to Majumdar and Madan, entire religious life of the primitives is born out of their belief in certain understandable, impersonal, non-material and unindividualized supernatural power which takes about in all the objects, animate and inanimate, that exist in the world. The next is the concept of Bonga. Those tribes who believes in mana are the Hoj, Munda tribes of Chotanagpur, and they also call it Bonga. According to these tribes, Bonga is a mysterious and impersonal power at the back of all the supernatural things like rains, tempests, cold, floods, epidemics, and the wild animals. Everywhere activity is due to the power of Bonga. Thus, Bonga is a form of mana. The next type is animism. This is another important characteristic of Indian tribal religion, that is belief in animism. According to Risley, the tribal religion is animism. The tribal people believe in the presence of supernatural power at the back of all the happenings. The Santals worship deities of family and village deities. Among the Korvash tribe, there is a goddess of crop, one of animals, and a deity of presiding rains. The principle of animatism is based on the two beliefs. The soul of a man survives even after his death. The word animism was used for the first time by Tyler in anthropological literature. Animism, according to Tyler, is the groundwork of the philosophy of religion from that of savages up to the civilized man. The next category of religion among tribals is naturalism. A universal characteristic of tribal religion is the worship of nature. The Garo tribe of Assam worships sun and moon. Similarly, the Munda people worship sun god. Besides, other tribes also worship the rivers, mountains, stars, trees, etc. The sixth type of religion is the faith in the immortality of soul. Among the Nagas and the tribals of the Nicobar Island, the skull of the dead man is placed on a wooden statue, believing that the soul of the dead man will pass from the skull to the statue. Now the statue is served like a living human being and efforts are made to fulfill all its needs. Sometimes the statue is made of brass. Such is the custom among the Garo tribes of Assam also. The second last is faith in rebirth and faith in magic. Most of the tribal people have faith in the concept of rebirth and magic. Magic is of two types, black magic and white magic. The last one is totem and taboo. Most of the tribal communities have the custom of totem and taboo. Different Indian tribes believe in different types of totem. The totem is considered to be the originator of a particular tribe. Its killing and eating is a taboo for the people of the particular tribe. It is worshipped and respected everywhere. Marriage cannot be contracted among the male and female of the same totem because they are thought to be having blood relationship, and so the marriage within the same totem is considered as taboo. So students, now let us summarize what we have learned from this module. The tribal economy is very simple and mainly subsistence in nature and closely related to their physical environment. It is really difficult to classify the Indian tribals into different categories based on the economy. However, Professor L.P. Vidyarthi has made an attempt to classify based on his classification. uh, the tribals of India has been divided into different economic classes. Similarly, the tribal religion is the most primitive form of religion found in human societies. Over the period of time, the tribal society has also seen many changes in the religious practices. These are mainly due to the exposure from the outside world and the intrusions made by the outsiders. The advent of industrial revolution and consequent urban exploitation, particularly in the tribal belt of middle India, including Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, made the situation more complicated. Now the situation is improving to some extent, but it remains a great job for the state and central government to bring tribes into confidence, educate them, clad them, take their proper health care, and arrange for their living by developing skill of the tribals. Thank you.